So welcome everybody. It's Tuesday. Speak to grow. Speak to grow your business, speak to grow yourself. Just how can we improve communication to take things up to the next level? My name is Kathy Riley, and I am here to walk you through today's mastermind. Thank you guys for joining us today. It is summer. It is hot outside, and we are all pretty busy. We have lots on our plate when it comes to personal and professional. And thank you guys for making the time to be here today. It's an honor, quite honestly, to be here and to work with you all. And so it's the Olympics going on right now. And is anyone watching the Olympics right now? Is this a yes? A no? A no?
I watched a little bit last night, getting past the opening ceremony. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm still a big believer in all the athletes, and that in spite of all the politics that they stick into it.
Agreed. Agreed. Politics aside, it is a culmination of years of dedication and practice to watch. So I don't watch it live. I watch it on, the Peacock app, right? And so I'm watching the different things and still get commercials, but it's but to see these, and I call them kids because some of them they really are, and some of them they look 10 and they're 20, right? And just to see them go for the gusto. I mean, breaking records, personal bests, and everything. And it's amazing. And how do we, so it got me thinking, like, how do we start our day like an Olympic athlete? What can we pull from their routine that could hinge our everyday? Because it's not like they wake up thinking, yeah, I guess I'll go work out. I'll do this. I'll do that. They're very consistent. And that's the one thing in business. That's the one thing, regardless of the goal you have, consistency is key. Mindset is key. How do we wake up and say, okay, this is what I'm going to accomplish, even if I don't feel like it? I'll be honest with you. I'm struggling right now a bit. I don't know if you noticed my tone. I think my energy is a little low today, but there's fires going on right now and it is killing me. So I'm very healthy, but I have asthma, I have allergies, and when the fire season kicks in, I literally feel like my head is going to explode. Like I have this constant throb going on right now. I'm feeling it. But how do I say, I take a day, I typically take a day, and then I say, this is embrace the suck it up, buttercup. It's just going to suck until my environment changes. So how do I do that? Got me thinking about the Olympics. So today I wanted to share with you, I found this really cool article, how to think like an Olympian and develop a winner's brain. And I just wanted to share some key points with you. And then let's talk a little bit about that. And what can we incorporate? Because mindset and consistency and attitude and habit, that sets the tone for the day. How you start your day is how you have a day, right? If you start the day thinking, hitting the snooze, I don't want to start yet. It hits and delves over into every other part of the day. So what can we do? And I thought this article was really, really cool. So wish to share with you. So, and this is from psychologist Jeff Brown. I'm a nerd and psychology and psychologist and science. Everything I do is foundational within science. And this is a guy from Harvard Medical School. So, he's got the cred and all of that. And that's why I thought I would share this. A winner's brain is not about a quick fix. You have to nurture your brain and take care of it. So he talks about a book, you have to feed it good fats like omega-3s. Your brain is a 3 pounds you don't want to lose. Um, you have to move it. Brain function improves your moving. It's the one of the best things you can do for your brain. And if you have to sleep it, sleep is critical to memory, consolidation, and learning. And so many doctors talk about how sleep is important, but it truly is to how your brain processes and behaves. Mental strength, focus, and resilience don't come without effort. Even to the world's top athletes, research show Olympians for decades have found that they come with common traits, habits, and qualities that you too can develop. So view stress as a positive. So many Olympians, especially our extremely successful ones, view stress as a challenge instead of something they should fear. Um, we can call it a stress mindset or your worldview of stress, says Gold. Research on high-level swimmers in England who were capable found that swimmers who perform best viewed stress as more as a facilitative thing versus a debilitative thing. Any elite athlete knows that there's going to be pressure, and top athletes have learned to view it as a challenge, either by trial or error or by working on a mental training such as staying in the present. That has a lot of implications for everyone. A famous experiment published in the January report looked at how people viewed stress and found risk of premature death rose 43% for people who viewed stress negatively. And those who viewed stress as positive had the lowest risk of death. Research concludes that it wasn't stress that was killing people, it was the combination of stress and the belief that stress is harmful. Researchers estimated that over 8 years, they can conduct their study of 182,000 Americans have died prematurely because they believed stress was harming them. Is that crazy? Um, so handling stress, embracing stress, loving stress, right? And then the next thing is learn to bounce back. Many of the most mentally tough and resilient athletes have a history of overcoming adversity in their past. It can be a hardship, illness, or even a loved one dying. So it's really hard to build resilience unless you've been challenged. If you protected you during your whole life and never let you figure things out, you're bound to be stressed when you hit an obstacle. So Simone Biles is a good example of an athlete who faced very public adversity and bounced back. She pulled out of team finals in 2020 due to the twisties when her brain and body stopped seamlessly communicating as they'd done in countless nearly perfect routines. Anyone can get overwhelmed. Resilience is the piece of us that allows us to get up every time we're knocked down. And I think Simone has shown that she really handles stress well and is a lot more resilient than people who never ran into that wall. And I agree that the some of the things that she's overcome and been able to bounce back. I was watching the gymnastics, and France was really, I thought it was cool that this was an up and coming team, right? They were talked about how they were going to compete, like they were going to hit the platform. They're going to do all this, that, and the other. And they got inside their own heads. And once one of them fell, each one of them started falling on each and every event. And they just went down into a spiral. And it was really hard to watch. It was heartbreaking. And then you see the US get up there. And they competed at different times. Um, and Simone had a couple boo-boos. And one of her biggest boo-boos, um you see her, she hits it, and then she bounces out, she comes in, and you just see her smile. Everyone else who sits there and goes, you see their face getting, and she just smiled, and then she nailed the rest of her routine. And I'm like, good, that's it, that's that mindset. So being resilient, having the mindset that say, yep, okay, I'm good. I got this, right? Banishing self-doubt. There's no room for doubt in the minds of Olympians. They have to believe they're capable of performing well, or they've already given the competition the advantage. They have to go into the event with complete confidence. That's what the brain requires to do. That's what the brain requires to do well, because you're creating those neurological pathways that allow you to be precise. It's the sort of muscle memory that the brain needs. Olympians do mindfulness training where they do not try to judge or worry, but they stay in the present moment. They might have certain self-talk phrases like, trust my training, I've been in tough situations before, I can do this, follow the plan. So having that toughness. Another suggestion is regulating your emotions. All of us have a set of emotions we feel are important to perform our best. I'm confident, I'm not overconfident, I'm anxious, but it's good anxiety. Maybe I'm a little bit fearful, but it's not overwhelming. Those are the things we can say to ourselves. There's an optimal mixture of those emotions that allow you to perform at your peak, but you need a thermostat, a way to dial down the emotions or up it when necessary. A tried and true technique to calm oneself is centered on deep breathing. But there's other tactics as well that's just as efficient. Some athletes put a rubber band on the wrist and snap it when they want to recenter themselves, which is a form of grounding. And I believe I've seen Michael Phelps do that in the past. There's been other athletes who will do that. It's like, get out of the itty bitty shitty committee, be present again. He recalls studying one of the women's summer Olympic soccer teams. Players came up with a code word to help each other regulate their emotions. The team came up with the words fire and ice. Players could yell at each other fire if they thought the team needed to be more emotionally charged. And when the player was in danger of getting a penalty, they would yell ice to calm them down. So I thought that was pretty cool, especially when you have your teammates helping you regulate those emotions. Um, and then practice until it's a routine. Not only do prime athletes practice until the physical skill becomes almost an innate physical response, but they often have specific rituals they do before each event. Routines are really important. They might warm up the same way. They might always imagine themselves doing the event perfectly. Some even tell jokes until 60 seconds before the event. Athletes who perform well, especially under pressure, stick to their routine. Athletes who don't perform well, for some reason, deviate from that routine. But it's not just physical readiness that needs a routine. Performance coaches will often help athletes prepare for emergencies or delays. And this one I thought was really, really cool. So, what is your stretch routine? So, in other words, if there's a delay because of weather or whatever, what do you do to hold focus, or are you able to, what do you do to come back to it? And then what is your shrink routine? If there's a traffic jam and you showed up late to the venue, for instance, how would you prepare for a shorter period of time? In that case, an athlete might stretch on the bus if they usually do 7 exercises. Here are the 3 I need to do for sure. And then they'll do things to calm themselves, such as deep breathing and certain self-talk phrases. Um, then the other thing is stay focused on the process. Top performers can't afford to be distracted when it comes time for the big event. Again, it's important to identify any triggers you might face and experience those during the practice until they fade into the background. Athletes have to be prepared for distractions such as crowd noise, someone laughing, even a joke told nearby. We'll introduce distractions during training, such as crazy loud noises over loudspeakers, to allow them to practice staying focused and emotionally regulated. So I love that, because distractions happen all the time. How do we stay focused and being in the zone? When you're facing one of the most important events of your life, type athletes don't focus on the outcome, they focus on the process needed to reach their goal. And how many times have we talked about that? What are the habits What are the things that we need to do? Let's focus on that versus, yeah, we know that that's what we need to do to get us there, but let's not think about there. Let's think about what we need to do today, right now. An Olympic swimmer would focus on the techniques needed to finish the world record, such as number of strokes and the position of their arms in the water. I'm not saying they're not competitive, but when the stress is hitting, they focus on what they can control, which is the process they need to accomplish to reach each goal. So I just found that really, really cool that what we've talked about in mindset and business is very similar to what athletes do when they're performing at their highest level. So what's one thing you could do today, starting now, that's going to improve your week, your month? Well, we're almost at the end of the month, your next, quarter. Based on some of this, what's one thing that you could shift? This is the interactive portion. So now you get to think. All right, go, Mac.
You had talked about athletes repeating their performance, practicing their performance. I think that we go through that ourselves. One of the things that I've recognized in my career is that so often I felt like when different customers or dealers were in front of me, I was saying very similar things about a product. As I've come to say, I'm a parrot. If I hear something enough, I can put it back out in a language that not only I understand, but whoever I'm speaking to, which changes, can understand. And I realized that where I may have said it or heard myself saying something 100 times or 1,000 times, the person in front of me only heard it once. And that is the practice that I do. And I my late wife used to always say, because I'd be yelling at myself, I'd be having conversations with myself. She goes, "What are you doing?" It says, "I know this situation is coming up. I'm practicing with all types of scenarios. So when whoever's in front of me throws up an objection, I already have the answer. I know what sounds good. I know what I like." And I've done that for a big part of my career. And yes, it's goofy when you look at it in your own persona, but it also gets you through those moments, whether you're on stage or you're talking to a customer or whatever the situation is.
Oh, I love that. Yes, so that's the practice, right? I mean, in business, we need to know what our customers' objections are going to be. We need to know what their fears are going to be so that we can then talk it. Now, our job should also be to present ourselves, communicate ourselves in a way that we're avoiding the objections, but we need to be prepared when they hit. I mean, we know as long as we've been doing what we're doing, we know what their common objections are. So
Yep.
being armed with the response, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Miss Christine, do you have anything to add to that? No.
No, I've worked a high stress job my whole career until I retired and became a business owner. So I'm not positive that stress is always a good thing. So guess I need to work on that.
So I think
Maybe
it's a matter of not necessarily saying, okay, it's a good thing. Stress is a good thing, because stress in our bodies, we know, is not a good thing, but
no.
it's how we handle it. It's our mindset around it. Because
Okay.
if we tell ourselves that this isn't stressful, this is fun, our body chemistry changes. So
Okay.
let's think about when something, when the shit hits the fan, because it's gonna happen. How do we look at it? Do we look at it and say, I can't do this anymore? Or are we going to look at it and say, all right, I got this?
Okay.
And that's
I
the shift. That's the the mindset around it is being prepared that stress is going to happen. Stressful situations are going to happen. Things are not going to happen the way I mean, have you ever had a day go exactly how you had planned?
Mm-mm.
Ever? No, me neither. It's not going to happen. And when it doesn't happen,
Right.
that's the stress that hits us, right? Is when things don't go as planned. How do we respond? So we respond saying, "Oh crap, this is horrible. I don't know how I'm going to get through it." That's when you take stress and it pushes you down. Or we can take a stressful situation when things don't go as planned and say, "Okay, I got this. I've been down this road before. I've been in a career with high stress. I know how to do this. I know how to navigate this. And you know what? Darn it, we're going to make it fun. We're just going to get through it and we're going to make it fun." And it reminds me, so years ago, here I am working as a litigation paralegal and dealing with a facility down in Canyon Ranch, Colorado, way south. And it was a toxic facility. So they had the chemicals, they had all that crap. And there was a big lawsuit all around that. And they were in the process of cleaning it up. They've been cleaning it up for like 10 years or whatever. But we had a lawsuit around that. And one other paralegal and I were sent down to look at the documents. So this is decades worth of documents that they put in a big trailer, one of those travel trailers. And I'm thinking, okay, great. Here I am going to be stuck in this trailer with hundreds of thousands of documents. And literally, I was down there peeling pages apart. Literally. I found rat nests. I found all of these different things. It was gross. It was disgusting. And the more crap I found, the more I started laughing. Because I'm like, of course. What else would you find in a 50-year-old facility other than a rat nest? I mean, come on. I am that lucky. So instead of sitting there going, this is gross and gagging and all of this stuff and thinking, ooh, where's my wipes? I'm like, all right, let's do this. We're going to find the documents. We're going to get through this. And I'll tell you what, having that positive attitude, that was one of my partner, he's like, he goes, that was actually fun. I want to do it again. And I'm like, I don't want to do it again. I'll go do another production again, but not in that situation. But we made it fun. It sucked. I won't lie. It was disgusting. It was one of the nastiest. It's such one of my core memories of how nasty that job was. But we laughed our butts off the entire time. Who could make the paper the loudest? Right? What can we do? It's all about attitude. And I guess more than anything, that's what this article and what I'm reminded of in watching the Olympics is the day you have is the day you think you're going to have. You can take a crappy situation, a crappy moment, and turn it around and say, watch this. Thoughts? Ahas? Reactions?
All of the above. Uh, and I've never understood people that thrive on being victims. And over the weekend, I did a bunch of yard work, and my neighbors are walking by. They said, "Why don't you hire somebody to do that?" I says, "I enjoy doing this. I'll have, by the time I'm done, and right now I've got about 50 of those big contractor bags out in front of the house with leaves, and I'm literally hard raking my yard, which is about an acre and a half by hand, and I love it in that. But what I noticed, I think it was Sunday, is that I was getting ready to go to bed and just getting ready to chill for the night. I said, damn, I got a lot of stuff done this weekend. And it's like, yeah, I know some people go yard work. Oh God, I don't want to do that. But I enjoy it. And I do enjoy challenges or tasks. I also like playing and standing in a stream going fishing. But the challenges of life and accomplishing them, even if it's only a personal experience, is really kind of cool. And that if you allow yourself to admit it.
Yeah. And I mean, here's what I will say about people who have the victim mindset and the mentality is they just don't have the tools to get out of it yet.
Yeah. But you have to want to. Like anything, you have
to know what to do. There's a lot of people out there that just don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know. And then when they know better, they do better. So it's creating, there are people that I've locked arms with who are on the struggle bus, and making those small shifts changes their lives. And there's some people that it doesn't, and even giving them the tools. So it's a bless and release. But at the end of the day, what we are in control over is ourselves, our thoughts, and our next choice. So while our subconscious, drives a lot of what we do, we can consciously change that thought. When we sit there and the subconscious goes, this sucks, I can't do it, we can say, no, but I can. I know I can. And consciously move forward and say, okay, I got this. This is going to be fun. And shift our perspective around it. That's what Olympians do time and time and time again. That's what the multi-billionaires do time and time and time again. It's not that they don't face obstacles. It's that they're resilient enough to bounce back, shift their perspective, and just keep trudging on. The difference between somebody making $1 billion and somebody making $10,000 is resiliency. They have had more failures. The bigger you go, the more you fail. And you bounce back. You don't let failure be anything more than a lesson. And you take it moment by moment. Because one failure in one area does not impact another. And we see this in the athletes. They fall, they get back up. They fall, they get back up. And they keep going. And they still win the gold. So that's what I want you guys to walk away with today, is the fact that you've got the gold. It's within you. It is 100% within you. You've got this. So we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yes. August.
August. All right. You guys, if you do need anything, if there's anything I can do to help and support you, feel free to reach out. You have my cell phone, 720-984-5751. I'll say that again, 720-984-5751. I am here to help and support you. Rock it. Make your business strong and speak to grow. Peace out.
Are you going to be at university next week?
I am not. I will be in Ohio.
Oh, I'm from Ohio
actually,
originally.
I'd now be in Ohio the following week. I'm actually in a speaker competition.
Well,
I'm one of the finalists in the speaker.
Congratulations and good luck.
Yeah, I'm going home with the gold.
There you go. We're rooting you on.
Mwah.
See ya.
Bye, guys.